one of the questions from Kelly. Do you have an update on when the president will get a physical?
I know this is an understandable question. I don't have an update. He will get one soon, and when he does, we will make sure you all are aware of it and get the information.
Nancy's questions, Nicki Minaj questions.
Sure.
Sorry. You said that we engage all the time with people who have big platforms or profiles. How do you determine who to engage with and in what way on something like this, on vaccine hesitancy?
Sure.
And Nicki Minaj has 22 million Twitter followers.
Mm-hmm.
Why not invite her to the White House, have a conversation, and make it a big public thing?
Well, I appreciate your recommendations on our communications advice. Karen, you are quite experienced. Look, I will say we recognize, and we've talked about this a bunch before, that we are not always the right platform or the right voice, right? Sometimes that's because people may not like the president, and they may not have voted for him, and that's okay. And we work with a range of partners to communicate the efficacy and the safety of the vaccine. It's also true that when we're reaching a range of audiences, young people where we've seen lower rates of vaccination is a good example. We know there might be more effective voices. We don't always know how effective working in partnership with celebrities may or may not be, but sometimes it is a tool that we can use or we've employed, as you've seen us do in cases before. We do this behind the scenes quite a bit, sometimes to speak to particular audiences. So all I was conveying is it's commonplace. We have calls every week, multiple times a week, from our engagement team with a range of officials with followings to see how they might want questions answered. Maybe they want to play a role in communicating information out publicly as a part of our effort to get the pandemic under control.
Any sense, like let's just say Olivia Rodrigo, do you have any sense of a difference that made? Are you guys able to track that in any way?
It's a good question. It's kind of a hard thing to track. We can see how many views. We can see anecdotally if people say, I got the vaccine because I saw this video, and certainly sometimes that happens. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. Go ahead.
Just to follow up on China and the TPP, you mentioned that the U.S. is looking at a range of options to forge stronger economic partnerships. Can you just elaborate a little bit on what those options are?
I think what I was trying to convey is it's not just trade, right? And there are a range of ways we can work with countries in the region and forge a range of partnerships. And so certainly the president would need labor, environmentalists to be at the table to potentially engage on TPP. We're obviously not there at this point. So I was just conveying we don't see trade as the only path forward. Go ahead.
A couple questions. On housekeeping.